All right.
Greetings, Booktubians. Welcome to Readers Guild, where we're going to talk about Witcher.
Booktubians.
That's what we are.
Yeah.
So, I've only read the first four. Well, if we're counting this as the first book,
I just made it pretty.
it's a Witcher. It'll never be pretty.
No, but we both don't really like the series.
Yeah.
Just lacks a lot. I've read all of them, but I feel like I haven't read anything except for Baptism of Fire, which I'm guessing is around here. But people love the books, but I really don't.
I've read the first four, and I did really like the short story collection, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when we got to the novels where I loved moments of it. And, okay, so, like, the best parts of Witcher are always when they're all together. Right?
Yes, when they're all together, but that's the problem I have with the series. Is
few and far between moments.
Basically, the entire series is just them all trying to get together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even feel like I'm so uninvested by the time they find each other that it's not even worth the read.
Yeah, the best moments of the series are definitely when they are talking and bantering and they're like a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Family. But it's like because people like the characters, people like the world, people like all of that, and the I don't know what it is, but like it's almost like the books are like scared to give them that. Like it's always like avoiding all the good stuff, and
they're like luring you almost.
Yeah.
Like they're promising it, but they don't give it to you.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason I like the short stories is because when they're short stories, you're like forced to do something.
I will say the only book that I liked where they were separated was Baptism of Fire. That book was that was my favorite. It was really good, and I'm like, okay, there's hope for the series, and it just kind of went down again, and it's really sad because there's so much that you could get into. Like there are the video games, books, and now the show. And there are, like, some side shows, too. They're, like, side movies, like, other stories.
Oh, yeah. The animated one as well.
Yeah, so there's so much to delve into.
There is,
But then it's so weird that the
books feel like adaptations.
Yeah, they feel like fan fiction almost. Not really fan fiction, just, like, it's lacking some of the heart or the passion, kind of.
Yeah, because, like, okay, I my first entry into The Witcher was Witcher 3, right? Like, the game. And the game just takes all the best parts of these books, and yeah, I know there's like few inaccuracies. I'm talking about like the soul of like Geralt as a father figure, as a, friend, as a romantic interest, all of these things that he is. It genuinely feels like the book's like, okay, we got one to burn per like 300 pages, and like one scene like that. Like that's why I say I love the series for its moments. I don't like the series. And that's why I
think Blood of Elves really did that for me too, where I didn't like it, but as we got to the end, when the character moments had time to shine, especially when Yennefer and Ciri were together, I love those scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally a character-driven person when I read, like, I prefer plots. And I felt like nothing was happening, but I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
And I just hate that it kind of taunts you with those good moments.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, this is what it could be, this is what it's going to live up to, and then it just doesn't.
Yeah. It's like, and for a monster hunting story, there's not as much.
He doesn't even, it's just like, he killed it.
Yeah. and like
Geralt slashed and killed the monster.
And then it's
dead.
Like, and then they'll talk about everything else other than, that's the other thing. So because I came in from Witcher 3, I read the first 4. So like, remember, Witcher 3 doesn't exist with these 4, the ones that I have read. Most of these, except for maybe the last one, right? The games didn't exist. So like, if this is your first entry, that's all you know. And I'm like, a lot of these rulers, I only know through context of the games. They're just placeholder noble titles.
Yeah, I had a problem with the names because I could not remember anyone. And I didn't care to remember anyone. And there were 2 names that I was mixing up. Do you remember which ones they were? They were
Vesemir and because...
Yeah, there's like Vizimir and Vesemir or something.
Oh, yeah. Because there's Wizima, Wizim, Vesemir, and these are like places and people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna... Okay, to be fair, it is based off of a language and culture that we're not used to. It is very different from what we would know ever. So, like, I'm not gonna crap on it for the nomenclature, but rather that there was no incentive to learn. Well, Vesemir there was, to be fair. He's the mentor.
Yeah, so I was mixing him up with the other person. So
Vedemir also, like there's another one, like another character.
Yeah, the Vizimir, I think, was like a king, and he was like trying to hunt down Ciri. But I thought that Vesemir
was betraying.
I was like, oh my gosh, and then like nothing was happening, and they were training again, and I'm like, this doesn't really make sense.
But the thing is, like, you don't even need to like know the kings and ladies and lords. Like, at least as far as I read, they were literally just placeholder characters that ruled like armies. But then and this is why I'm a bit of a game supporter over the books, because I've played a little bit of Witcher 2, and like you actually get to like see these people as people, like when they're not, you know, ruling stuff and armies and stuff, and you get to see Geralt interact. And yeah, there is some of that, but that's the thing. There's only
a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, half the time Geralt isn't even with the people we want him to be with.
Yeah, he's just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
He's chilling with the vampire.
Yeah. My favorite one out of the ones I've read is probably Sword of Destiny, because I think the end of that is pretty heartwarming. Because that's how season 1 ends, but I saw you. Oh, yeah. Do we want to talk about like the show as well?
We do mild spoilers.
Yeah, mild spoilers. So
like concepts, don't give like...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Season 1 ends, and in a good but bad way in my mind, because what made that ending good in the books was the fact that I guess this is kind of a spoiler, but Geralt and Ciri meet. It's like, that's not a spoiler, right? But their reunion is what's emotionally what's the word? I guess gratifying in Sword of Destiny. It's their reunion. They've known each other this entire time. In the season, they haven't met a single time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's not, and I hate that they made such a big deal about it, because I'm like, you don't know this girl. Like, and the thing is, I know that the argument is going to be, well, it's like, it's destiny. Like, that's the whole theme. No, that's not the theme.
In the show.
But that's not the theme. The theme isn't that he does things because it's destiny. He does it in the book because he cares for Ciri. And the Child of Surprise, even he contemplates that because he doesn't know if he can give that life to the Child Surprise. And he goes back, and when Sintra's burning, that's why he goes back. And in the show. But by then, in the book, he's already met her. So it's just like, it ruined that. And I'm like, that's what you have to nail in the show. But I think that's my biggest flaw with the show, though. The season 1, at least.
Yeah, I think for me it was just that it was a little clunky.
With the timeline?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it.
Yeah,
I don't have too many critiques about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Season 2 has better moments than season 1.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
I don't even remember how it ended, but...
It has a weird ending. It's just like, suddenly they're here now. And then it's like...
I need to rewatch it because I need to refresh myself on that plot.
It's like... The ending feels like a fan fiction of a book that is written like a fan fiction.
Yeah.
That has a games that somehow does a better job. Maybe not in like the actors... Like they made some changes, obviously. In characters as well, but like it captured the soul of Geralt and the friends and families he made along the way.
Of course.
He did. So, yeah. What would you rate the series out of 5 as a whole?
2?
2? I think that's fair. I want to say 3 just because I have but then it's like when you like moments, it's almost worse.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it was pretty difficult to read, like to finish all of them, and
I can't believe you did that.
I know, right? By the second half, like these last few, at that point, I was kind of just reading the words. Like, I wasn't reading it for the content. I'm like, okay, well, I have them.
You were just pushing through the dribble.
I don't know how I, like, actually got through
soldiering through it.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that. I like, when I realized that would be my fate for the next, 4 books that are seemingly longer.
Well, I read them alongside other books, too, so it's not like I was stopping everything to read Witcher. But, yeah, it was a little...
I throw out I abandon books so fast nowadays.
That's fair.
Like, it's gonna make a very bad joke. But anyways, so, yeah, I mean, long story short, honestly, don't read it. Like, I would not recommend this to anyone.
But some people really love it. Some people, really enjoy the content. I can't see why, but, I mean, there were the book fans who were mad at the show, so.
And see, I think I enjoyed the books more because I have the game as a context.
Yeah, I enjoyed them even though I haven't fully played the game, but like
Yeah.
I've had the context of the game.
Yeah.
So
Like you've seen clips maybe.
yeah, and I've watched some gameplay.
Yeah.
So I liked the books more because of that and because the show was out. But if this was recommended to me, I would not be happy.
Yeah. And from the game fans, there's no Banana Tiger and there's no Lily. It's two combat soundtracks and it sounds like the Polish lady screaming Banana Tiger. Banana Tiger.
Oh,
yeah,
that song. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And the la 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 la.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't even do it.
The soundtrack is really good.
So
At one point, when I was reading the short stories, I was listening to the soundtrack while I was reading.
oh, that's genius.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it was great. And then, like, if, like, a combat scene happened, I would skip it to, like, find a combat track, and then I would, like, skip it to, like, go back. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah. In the game, I would actively get mad when I finished off the combat, because then that would end the music.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the reason I play on a harder difficulty is not for the challenge, I just want the last longer. But yeah.
Yeah, but the books don't really feel worth it.
Yeah.
Like,
There's just a lot of them, too.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I feel like it could be condensed in maybe, like, 3 or 4 books. Like...
No, yeah, this is the...
really
you say that about Wheel of Times, and sometimes I'm like, I disagree.
would say for Wheel of Time, you could condense it to 10.
Yeah. They would have to be really long. I was going to say 12. Well,
sure, but
we can discuss
that's
further.
That's for another day.
Another day.
But yeah, there's just, it feels like there's so much filler content, so much, like, political...
That doesn't need
drama.
to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't...
It's not a political
I know
story.
it's to make the world feel, like, lived in and...
I think it's
breathing world. Yeah. It just made me feel bored. And I stopped paying attention to any of the names. So by the time I got to the end, I was, like, desensitized to any name. And then I'm sure there were a lot of moments I missed because of that.
Siri? Who?
Yeah, who's Siri? Who's Cirilla? Are they sisters?
I can see you asking me that, though. if you're, like, in this book or something. I don't know. Anyways. But, yeah. That's our thoughts on the Witcher books.
Not worth it.
I would give it a 2 out of 5 as well.
Yeah. Very disappointing, very sad.
Hope you have a good day.
Bye.